Now let's engage Dr. Kezia Malm. She's a program manager, the National Malaria Control Program with the Ghana Health Service. Thanks for your time, Doc. It's been a long time coming, this malaria vaccines, because we understand that it's been in the pipeline since 1991.
Very much for having me. Indeed, we are happy with the announcement. As you know, the vaccine development has gone on for about 30 years. So we are happy we are here and that we have a vaccine that we can potentially use to reduce the burden of malaria.
Then again, coming down to sub-Saharan Africa, we're seeing as much as 400,000 deaths annually. How is this vaccine going to really help fight against malaria?
I didn't get the last part of your statement. How is it?
I'm saying that how is it really going to impact the fight against malaria?
Oh, yes. The pilot implementation showed that it's able to reduce severe malaria admissions by about 30%. And if you look at the number of people we see in Ghana, we report at our health facilities that severe malaria, we are talking about figures around 380,000 reported and recorded. So 30% reduction in that is a huge number. Over 100,000 people, less people we are expecting to see at the health facility. And that goes a long way to reduce the effort, the time that malaria takes from us, the resources that we lose because one person has malaria or the other. So it's what we are looking forward to this given some great impact.
So can we say for a fact that looking at how measles has been somewhat eradicated, can this vaccine also bring us to a point where we will no longer be reporting malaria in kids?
So we all hope for the best. Unfortunately, I don't hear you very well, but I think I did get you. We all hope for the best. Yes, measles has been able to the measles vaccine has been able to help us to eradicate, to eliminate measles in quite a number of countries. But malaria is a bit different. As the vaccine is coming, it is not something we are going to use alone. We are going to use the vaccine in combination to all the other interventions that we have. Measles is by a virus, malaria is by a parasite. So they are a bit different. And the parasitic diseases are becoming quite difficult in terms of getting the right vaccine. The efficacy for the vaccines are different. But looking at what we've seen, this is the best vaccine available to us so far. And it will serve as the beginning of great things. And we hope that one day, maybe in our lifetime, we'll see malaria eliminated from our country.
Sure. Then again, it also boils down to the fact that GSK says that they'll only be producing this vaccine for about 10 years or so. Moving forward, what should the government and other institutions be doing to actually make sure that these vaccines are acquired, deployed, and somewhat probably even manufactured in countries where malaria is pretty endemic?
Hope I got you right. You're talking about vaccine production, right?
Yes.
Some parts of your line dropped.
Yes. So we're told that GSK it will be producing this vaccine for about 10 years. So moving forward, what should government and institutions be doing? Should we be looking at producing our own vaccines against this malaria, or, for example, even in India, we can go to India for India to produce these vaccines for us in the long term?
I think we've learned a lot from COVID, and I have seen governments in the African region trying to put in efforts to make sure that we produce our own vaccines. And I think our country is part of it. We've seen the president put together a committee that is trying to bring the manufacturing of vaccines to our country. I am hopeful that once that is done, it becomes a template for us to use to bring in other vaccines. So this is just the beginning. As a program manager, I cannot say I am hopeful, but looking at what is going on in our country and in the continent, I'm hopeful that one day we may get a malaria vaccine produced in the country.
And finally, before I let you go, Doc, what does this mean for drug producers that this vaccine is in? Does it mean that soon we'll be phasing out anti-malarials? What does it mean in terms of the pharmacology of this?
So I would rather want to say what it means for me as a program manager. What it means for me is that I have an additional tool to use in the control of malaria. What it means for people in the country is that we have an additional tool in addition to the ICNs that we do, in addition to the next thing we give to the pregnant women, we have an additional tool to prevent malaria.
Okay.
And so malaria is totally off our continent. We will still have to give medicines to those who are sick, and that's where the pharmaceutical companies come in. And
Okay.
so then we'll be working with them. And remember, the vaccine is also by a pharmaceutical company.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Kezia Malm.